You know I sound like that Peter for Columbo character. About 4 people know that reference. But I can't help but stop thinking that China is integral to all of this. It was the Chinese president's meeting with Kim Jong-un the second time that had the president wondering, what changed here? Why did the North Koreans' position become more argumentative, even bellicose, since that powwow? And then the Chinese suddenly getting very, very tough in these trade talks to the point that, remember, like yesterday, the president imposed or wants to impose tariffs of as much as 25% on imported cars. That would lift their price 25%. So what happens then? Jeff Locke has all the details right now coming up to us from Westmont, Illinois. Sir.
Well, you listen to the auto makers, they say it'll be a huge mess. You know, we're in front of a Audi dealership here in the Chicago suburbs. Audi is one of the few overseas automakers that don't make cars in the U.S., although their parent VW does. Toyota, though, makes a lot of cars here. They just tweeted this, just got this. Toyota saying, we've got 10 plants and 136,000 employees in the U.S. We contribute to local economies. Tariffs on auto imports could hurt American jobs and raise consumer costs. That's Toyota for you. If you think anybody would support this, you'd have to think it was the UAW, right? Auto workers, jobs here in the U.S. Well, actually, Dennis Williams, we heard from him from the UAW this morning, and here's what he said. He said, actually, he kind of supports the president on trade in general. He says, when I say I support President Trump's policies on trade, if they do what they say they're going to do, we'll be with him. He adds, but don't say I support President Trump, because I don't. As I said, the auto industry in general, the analysts think it's bad for everybody, including auto workers. We talked to Jeremy Acevedo of Edmunds. Here's what he told us, and I quote him now. A tariff on overall vehicle costs would be an absolute gut punch that would destroy the profitability of imported vehicles. The luxury segment, particularly German brands, will be the most hard hit. That's true. I mentioned Audi, Neil. Also, Mercedes makes a lot of cars, or sells a lot of cars in the U.S., 375,000, of which they make most of those here in the U.S. U.S. plants, U.S. jobs. Lexus also sells a lot of cars in the U.S. They only make about 50,000 of the 300,000 they sell here. As I said, Audi, all 226,000 that they sold here last year. The folks at Audi did not make any of them here. But I tell you, this is a complicated industry, Neil. You start to get into this. If it's a threat, it's one thing. If they really impose tariffs, it's a mess. Where it goes, I don't know. But
yeah, but you're right. It's a mess, and we pay for that. Governments don't pay for that. We do. We're going to pay that 25% tax. You know?
Bottom line, there's no other way around that. Right. I mean, you can say that's fine because it creates U.S. jobs, but there's no way around the fact that it would definitely cost us more. You're absolutely right.
That's right. Their hope is that it doesn't come to that, but that's the reality if it does. All right. Thank you very, very much, my friend Jeff Locke.